Aloha and welcome to the KupunaWiki radio show. This month we are talking about health and wellness, and in studio we have Sarah Chandler, a geriatric care manager with Partners in Aging. KupunaWiki is Hawaii's senior resource. We talk to the best local professionals in the state regarding topics such as real estate, senior housing, estate planning, finance, and health, so that our Kupunan families can find the best resources in the midst of a life transition. We strive to make sure our seniors are informed and supported every step of the way. Thanks again for joining us today. I'm Brandon Lau,
And I'm Andrew Leon.
your host for the KupunaWiki radio show.
Our title sponsor for today is the Hawaii Kai Retirement Community, where they aim to provide a safe, nurturing, and caring environment to their residents in a community-style setting, similar to the comforts of their own homes. To schedule a tour, contact 808-395-9599.
And now we have our real estate tip of the week, brought to you by Cheney Brooks Choice Advisors.
When purchasing a property, a buyer may find that they are in competition with other buyers who also want the same home. Of course, the purchase price is usually the primary decision factor for sellers. However, clean offers can be made more appealing to certain sellers if a professional and personalized cover letter is written on behalf of the buyers. By knowing who the buyer is, the seller may feel more comfortable accepting one offer over another.
For more information on how to effectively get your offer accepted by a real estate professional, please call Cheney Brooks Choice Advisors at 753-9033. Well, again today we have in studio Sarah Chandler, a geriatric care manager at Partners in Aging. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks for joining us. Now, I know we've talked off the mic a little bit about your background, which sounds very exciting. But tell us tell us how you got into the field that you're in and what background you have.
Yeah, so I got into this field when I was working remotely for a fiduciary company as a fiduciary assistant. There, I helped to prepare cases for conservatorship, and it was there also that I discovered the vulnerability of many of our elderly population.
And
I-
you went to school to help families, right? That was your
I
background.
did. My
Yeah.
background is in marriage and family studies.
Mhm.
And I also received my fiduciary certification. Um, so that really comes to play when working with families in that situation. It was there that I realized that I needed to advocate more
Right.
for our kupuna
Mhm.
that are so vulnerable.
And I know that's a big passion of yours, to make sure that their care is met, their voices are heard. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have parents of my own,
Mhm.
and I'm also going to get there one day. So are all of us.
We're all on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, were you born and raised on Oahu?
No, I actually was born in Hong Kong.
Okay.
And at
Oh.
a very young age, I moved to Costa Rica in Central America where my father resided. He
Okay.
was operating a family business there.
So how many languages do you speak?
By age 7, I was actually speaking 3 different languages
Wow.
fluently: Chinese, English, and Spanish.
And Spanish.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So
Can you
yeah.
Can you still speak it?
I don't speak it
Oh.
as fluently anymore. Spanish, I've lost a lot of. You don't use it, you don't keep it, right?
Right.
But I was mainly raised here in Hawaii, so pretty much a local girl.
Mhm. So your father was a business owner,
Yes.
and you decided, well, I'm going to follow in the footsteps of starting my own business, right?
Trying to.
So how did you come about with Partners in Aging?
Yeah, so, our name is exactly just that. We want to be the partners for our kupuna out there who probably do not have families, or who have families but they're unable to help them assist with their daily living. So our company is just exactly that. It's what we are in the community. We're partnering up with each kupuna and their families and helping them along the way.
What do you see as some of the biggest needs for kupuna and their families?
Wow. There are so many of them. I really don't even know where to start with.
Mhm.
But one of the needs is that a lot of them are aging solo. And I just did a dementia training the other day, and one of the facts that I mentioned was that if you are 60 years old, there's a 5% chance that you have dementia. If you are 70 years old, there's a 10 to 20% chance. And if you are 85 and above, there's a 40 to 50% chance.
Wow.
And so dementia is really prevalent in our community now. And the only way to ease that stigma and to make sure that our kupunas are not exploited in any way by those who are willingly to, want to take advantage of them, is to make sure that they are monitored closely, whether it be 24/7 care help in the home or placing them in a safe environment where they can thrive and continue to live while having their dignity.
Do you find that in Hawaii you have less kupuna aging alone than, say, in the mainland? Just because you have multi-generational households and, the Asian background to take care of your parents.
Absolutely, I
Yeah.
do. I feel that the term geriatric care company is not very commonly used here in Hawaii.
Right.
In fact, I don't know of any other geriatric care management companies in Hawaii except for us. I know other agencies that do similar work,
Right.
but not to the extent that we operate and service. On the mainland, in Hawaii, actually, I should say that we have we grew up with a very tight-knit family network. So in Hawaii, if there's multi-generation family members living in one home, we usually say, hey, you're gonna take Tutu to the dentist next week, and you are gonna go pick him up from the doctor's office, and somehow we make that work. Whereas on the mainland, because the children grow up and they move far away, sometimes it's really difficult for them. They're living thousands of miles away, and it's hard for them to come back.
I seem to think a lot of the kupuna these days, they are trying to live more independently. And it
Yes.
could be at a distance, because maybe they'll go into a senior community that could be in the mainland for cost reasons or whatnot, but they would be far away from their loved ones, and it's good to have a partner. So same as people in Hawaii, if they've migrated here from the mainland or some other place, they're probably living alone, and they need some kind of assistance in the later years.
Yes, I
Yeah.
see that as being very important to have an extra pair of eyes and ears, there to, like I said, to closely monitor them and make sure that they're safe.
And not to mention, it seems like, our parents are working longer, right?
Yes.
Maybe they just have to make ends meet.
Right,
And people are living longer,
yes.
so they're gonna need more help.
And in
Yeah.
the beautiful state of Hawaii, we have this wonderful weather and all these beautiful diverse cultures that really help to contribute good health and socialization. So it really empowers our seniors here, but yet, no one is exempt.
Right. Well, it sounds like being a geriatric care manager fills a lot of the gaps that perhaps family members cannot assist with. And so we want to hear more about that and your services right after this commercial break.
Thank you.
If you're just joining us, we have Sarah Chandler, a geriatric care manager at Partners in Aging. And in our first segment, we kind of just touched upon some stats. And I actually want to go back to, I was actually surprised to hear that you said at the age of 60, you have a 5% chance. So it starts that early, huh, with dementia?
Absolutely, and like I said, we just did this wonderful training on dementia, and I'm not sure if you know Dr. Puki'i Balaz.
Yes.
She actually quoted that, once a person is diagnosed with dementia, it actually, symptoms start to trace back 20 years before that. And so, healthy living and making sure that you have a well-balanced diet, having the right socialization, seeking the right medical help does not begin when your dementia symptoms are apparent or when you're diagnosed. It actually starts right now.
You're getting me concerned about myself.
We are all a little concerned.
I've been forgetful lately. Wow. Okay. So let's dive into Partners in Aging.
Yes.
And the services you folks provide. Tell us what are some of those services?
Okay, So, usually we get a phone call, whether it's a referral from an agency or an individual who's concerned about their loved one. Usually it's the elderly population. And so we go into their homes for a free consultation, or if, we like to go into their homes because we need to know how to service them best in their environment. And so we go in, our nurse will go in for a clinical assessment, and we also do an interview with the family member, the responsible party, the POA. And from there, we work with the families to create a short-term or a long-term care plan that best fits that individual. From that point on, we start coordinating services, and we monitor those services until the day that they no longer need us.
Oh, okay. So you're basically walking them through the whole
We are,
process.
yes, we are their partners.
Yeah.
We hold their hands through the whole process.
And are you folks funded by the government, or how do they how do you folks stay afloat with the services you provide? Does like a Medicare or Medicaid kick in to help with the seniors and the when they, I guess, get your receive your services?
I absolutely wish they did. Unfortunately, Medicare and Medicaid do not help to pay for our services.
Okay.
We are considered kind of cosmetic in a sense,
Mm.
whereas, so we are actually private pay. We're
Okay.
all private pay. If you have long-term care insurance, however, some long-term care insurance policies will help to pay for some of our services. They don't pay us directly, they'll pay the person who's insured, and then they pay us.
Oh, okay, okay. Now, let's say a person is, may not be ready for that transition yet, and what other options are available to them if, let's just say, a lot of people nowadays want to stay at home longer, right? So they may not be ready to transition into a, senior facility. Are you folks still there to, continue to stay with, service them, and maybe later down the line, they may be ready, which at that point, you folks will go through them the spectrum of options available. Is that kind of what the process would be like for them? When they're, let's just say they're not ready at the point that they meet you, but they want to actually prepare for it. Yeah, I mean, what's
Yes,
that like?
so I always recommend preventive care, and preventive care planning in this case. So if you feel that your loved one may need a little extra help that you as a family member cannot provide, and you are really concerned about their health and their safety, we usually do recommend people to schedule a free consultation with us. We come in and we look at their individual needs. Sometimes most people's wishes is to stay home and age there. And we truly respect that. I don't want to leave my home, and to go to an unfamiliar surrounding. And so we work with the family to see how that can happen. We help to look at their finances to see what kind of resources they have available. 24/7 care right now is about $20,000 and up per month, and that depends on your level of care. Not everyone can afford to age solo in their home, and so we look at other factors besides finances, which is a big one, because you either can or you can't. We look at their health, we look at the level of care, and we look at safety. And with those factors, we help. We never decide anything on our own. The family is always part of the care team, or like I said, or the responsible party, whoever is responsible for our client. A lot of times our clients aren't able or incompetent or ready to decide for themselves. And so together we look to see, well, is this person, are there resources available for them to age solo at home? If there are not, then we look at other options such as placement and And with placement, we look at their finances again to see what they can afford so that we can correctly place them in the right environments.
So it sounds like you do a multiple lines of services. If you could wrap it up into a nutshell, if somebody asked you, what does Partners in Aging do, what would you say?
Partners in Aging is your professional relative.
Okay.
That's
That-
really who
that-
we
that
are.
makes sense.
We
Right.
do everything your family or your loved one would do for you.
Mhm.
But like I said, in most cases, unfortunately, people don't have that family available.
So do you get compensated per hour? Is that how it works?
Yes, we do.
Mhm.
We do charge by the hour.
Mhm.
However, I'm very, very proud to say that we have never turned away a client yet.
Mhm.
We do our best to work with their resources.
Mhm.
And being in the nonprofit field in the past myself, I'm able to actually help them find other services that are available if they can't afford ours. But we have never, ever turned away a client or family.
Who else do you folks partner with in terms of the services that you want to provide to your Kupuna?
An important aspect of what we do, we partner, I would say we partner up with doctors. They're part of our care team. So the medical field, anyone in the medical field who's a provider for that one client. We partner up with attorneys. We have a lot of situations where they need trust completed, or living wills done. We partner up with, it's just an umbrella of different professionals. We partner up with realtors.
Mhm.
Sometimes they want to sell their homes so that they can go and live in these care communities because they don't have that extra cash asset to pay for it.
Mhm.
Sometimes they wanna rent out their home, so they need a rental property manager. Just all kinds of, I've worked with so many different professionals, and sometimes I work with 6 or 7 just on one particular case.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And again, the benefit is a person who needs these services, let's say it's the family or the senior, they don't know who to call, right? So you actually have all these relationships lined up. You can make the recommendation based on their particular need at that point in time, and it just takes all the footwork out of and the mystery out of the process.
Yes.
Right.
It's a lot to deal with when you have a loved one who needs immediate care right away. And so we try to take all that burden off your shoulder and just allow you to be the daughter or the son and to come in for a very, pleasant visit.
Maybe you can share with us some stories of maybe situations where it's been a happy ending, for your client, for the family involved. Something that's really come dear to your heart.
Wow, okay. Well, we've been operating here in Hawaii for about a year and a half, and we haven't had, an abundance of cases, but the cases that we have had, I've held them all dear to my heart. Each time I coordinate services for that one client, I feel like I put myself in that situation, that's my mother, or that's my father, and I will not leave him or her with someone I cannot trust. So I'm very, very picky and particular about coordinating services and pairing them up with different professionals to help them. One story though, however, is I had a referral, and this was a son who lived in Las Vegas who was very concerned about his mother who was aging solo on the Pali. She lived on the Pali in a 2-story home, and she was living by herself. And he would call and she wouldn't answer the phone 'cause she couldn't hear the phone, and her dementia was really bad. And he had actually lined up some home care services for her. So she did have caregivers, but they weren't showing up at their appointed shifts that they were supposed to be at. And so he contacted me and he said, hey, I need someone to help my mom. I need someone to help coordinate the shifts for the caregivers to make sure that they are there, to make sure she's taking her medication and going to all her appointments. And so he was flying home once a month from Vegas. and he was doing that for the past 4 years. And he signed on with our services, and because we're able to monitor his mom closely, now he only flies home every 6 months. And so that is a big relief to the family, to know that I am the point of contact for their doctors, for their other providers.
You know, it's unfortunately that kind of thing does happen, where
Absolutely.
people don't show up, and you hire the service. They're possibly a reputable company, and unfortunately they don't come through.
Yeah. And another very prevalent problem now is that we have so many kupuna who need
Right.
those services. There's just not enough staff. And so a lot of families have to do patchwork work. Sometimes they use 3-4 different companies just to get the 24/7 filled. And so we try to come in. There are some companies that we suggest because they've been tried and true. And we monitor and make sure that they show up for their shifts. I've had paramedics call me because my client fell, and I've asked, where are the caregivers?
Yeah.
They said, oh, well, there's no one here.
Oh,
She
geez.
pulled her life alert. And so, you know, that you're absolutely right, that happens.
Now, where do you see your services going from here? Sounds like you've evolved, you know, from your prior profession to doing this. Sounds it's going very well. What's the next step for you?
The next step is to just get the word out there that we are here, we are available. We want to hear your story. We want to be able to help you. We want to work with the families here in Hawaii, and maybe children or loved ones who are living abroad who are concerned about their parents. The more people we get to help, the better we feel, you know, productive-wise here in the community.
And are you planning to grow your staff?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
right now there's myself. I do all the intakes, I do all the interviews. With my background in marriage and family studies, you know, I'm able to endure the storm when I walk in, and there's so many different family dynamics. And then we have our registered nurses, and we have a social worker. And if they need to outsource for physical therapy or occupational therapy, we also help them with that.
So you're going to need more hands eventually.
I absolutely hope I will.
Yeah.
That would be a good thing.
Do you service the whole island right now?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We've been asked about outer islands, but we need to build here first.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Well, if there's a way that somebody needed to reach out to you to hear about your services or to have a consultation done, what's the best way that they can do that?
They can visit our website at www.partnersinaginghi.com, or they can give me a call, Sarah Chandler, at 808-783-9390.
And Sarah, do you ever do seminars or classes?
We do.
Yeah. Is there anything upcoming that you can share with us?
Well, we just actually, I think I've mentioned this a few times, so excuse me if I did. We actually just did a dealing with dementia class that's sponsored by the Rosalind Carter Institute of Caregivers.
Right.
So I've been doing that a lot here, just to educate people about dementia. And like I said, to ease the stigma and to help create a dementia-friendly community. We are going to be doing more seminars on planning for your future.
Right.
And one of those aspects is, who's going to take care of you?
Right, right.
And so we hope to partner up with other providers as well to do more seminars in the future.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us on KupunaWiki. I'm sure people would love to hear more about you and your services. So one more time, how can they get a hold of you?
Yes, they can visit our website at www.partnersinaginghi.com. There you can fill in your information and it will get sent to me. Or they can call me at 808-783-9390.
Again, this is Sarah Chandler with Partners in Aging, and she is a geriatric care manager. So thank you so much for joining us on our show.
Thank you very much.
Coming up next, we have our KupunaWiki Classic Trivia.
Welcome back to KupunaWiki on AM 690 The Answer.
And now we have our KupunaWiki Classic Trivia brought to you by Cheney Brooks Choice Advisors.
Alongside Oahu's North Shore is a little town known as Haleiwa. What year was that established?
For a chance to win a Long's gift card, be the first person to call us with the correct answer at 808-792-5188. And remember, KupunaWiki is live when we have our next in-person class on Saturday, June 15th from 10 to 11 a.m. at the Plaza at Waikiki. And we'll be hearing from Cullen Hayashida on active aging. And he's a great person, very engaging, energetic. You don't want to miss that. To reserve your free seat, please call us at 792-5188 to register, or you can always go to KupunaWiki.com.
Again, we'd like to thank this segment sponsor, the Hawaii Kai Retirement Committee, for providing local seniors independent and assisted living opportunities within their all-inclusive community. To schedule a tour, contact 808-395-9599.
Well, thank you again for joining us today on the KupunaWiki Radio Show, Hawaii Senior Resource. We strive to make sure our seniors are informed and supported every step of the way. Again, I'm Brandon.
And I'm Andrew.
And we'll see you back next time on the KupunaWiki Radio Show.
Awesome.